Hi, this is Mike Regan with Transact's 2-Minute Warning for the week of October 2nd. I have a quick question for you. How many of you have budgeted for a 10% increase in your transportation cost for 2018? Last week, I attended CSCMP's annual conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Rick Blaskin and his team did an outstanding job putting on a first-rate educational conference. But one of the things that was going on at that conference this year that made it unusual was the buzz that was talking about the perfect storm that we talked about in last week's 2-Minute Warning. Now, I understand when some of you hear the words, the perfect storm, you roll your eyes and you think, yeah, right, this is a boy crying wolf. Well, for those of you who are still doubting, you may want to pay attention to a couple of things. One of those things, for example, was the letter that J.B. Hunt released to its customers a couple of weeks ago. It was titled Budget Guidance for 2018. And in that letter, J.B. Hunt cited all the challenges that they and other truckers are having in terms of servicing shippers for the rates that are currently in place. But what got everyone's attention was at the end of the letter, J.B. Hunt said, you may want to look at rate increases of 10% or more for 2018. So I asked that question at the very beginning of this 2-Minute Warning. How many of you are budgeting for cost increases of 10% or more in your transportation area? Now, before you simply dismiss this and say, this is J.B. Hunt, I have some other information for you. In fact, we're going to be releasing a bunch of information because you really need to understand what's going on in the transportation marketplace. And that's why I encourage you to go over to Transact.com and click on the link to listen to our buddy Derek Leathers talk about what's happening in the trucking industry. Derek is the CEO of Werner. Werner is the second largest truckload carrier, and he was kind enough to give me a couple of minutes at CSCMP to talk about the current trucking environment. As Derek highlighted, Mike, we've increased our driver pay by over 17% in the last 2 years. Every aspect of running our business cost us more, and yeah, we need to be able to get some kind of rate relief in order to continue running a profitable trucking operation. Now, as I said, we've got a wealth of resources that we'd like to share with you, and the reason why this is so important is because one of the things that we've been talking about is predictable surprises. And rate increases, folks, is an absolutely predictable issue that doesn't have to catch you by surprise. Now, if you want to learn more about how we can help you manage those costs, and in fact, in some instances, reduce your costs, you simply need to send us an email or give us a call. And you need to do that now more than ever, because with each 2-Minute Warning, we are here to remind you, we are on your team, we're here to help, and we're passionate about seeing you be successful. Thanks for your time. A couple of weeks ago, we had our first ever postscript to a 2-Minute Warning, and this week we have another postscript. Now you can relax, I can assure you, this isn't going to be an every week occurrence, but there's some extremely important information that we need to share with you. And when I was talking with my associate Brent here about how do we get this information, one of the things he highlighted is we can't wait a couple of weeks to release the information that we have ready to share with you right now. One of the things that we've been talking about is this perfect storm, and I want to let you know the kind of resources we have marshaled to help you understand what is actually occurring. Why is this so important? Well, when I give talks to people about predictable storms and how to manage through the crises of transportation, one of the things that we emphasize is that you really need to understand what the marketplace is looking like. Let me cut right to the chase and share with you some incredible resources that are available for you over at Transact.com. We've divided them into 2 buckets. The first bucket is understand what's going on in the marketplace, and we've got some great taped interviews with some outstanding resources. One of the interviews is with John Larkin and Jeff Rogers. Jeff is the CEO of Universal Logistics. John Larkin is with Stiefel and is considered to be by many one of the industry experts. What they talked about is what's actually happening Why should you listen to this interview? Well, when you hear John Larkin talk about the fact that rates could be easily up by 8 or 9% or more if you buy freight the traditional way, and then contrast with what you could get of maybe 4 to 5% if you're willing to consider some alternatives, this is the kind of stuff that you need to consider. Jeff Rogers highlights the fact that at their brokerage group there, they're seeing rates up in the spot market by 25% month over month. Folks, it's unprecedented. So in this week's 2-minute warning, when I talk to you about the J.B. Hunt letter, where J.B. Hunt is saying look for rate increases of 10% or more, this isn't just some hypothetical thing that could occur. It's actually occurring right now. And some of the other interviews that we have is Randy Mullet. Randy was with Conway for a lot of years and now has his own firm and is considered an outstanding strategic thinker in terms of helping shippers and carriers what's going on in the marketplace. We also, though, don't want to leave you just hanging with what's going on, in the marketplace. We have another bucket, and in that bucket talks about what you can do from a scenario planning into disaster recovery, and I am so excited with the resources that we have. We have legendary Yossi Sheffi from MIT and his associate there, Jarrod Goentzel, and when you hear them talk about what's going on and how the hurricanes are affecting the transportation marketplace and how the companies need to do certain things in order to be a resilient enterprise, folks, it is must listen to type stuff. But we've also got some comments from John Langley. John is also a legend in the industry, has taught at Tennessee and is now at Penn State, Georgia Tech, all over. But one of the things that John is talking about are things that companies need to do when you're in turbulent waters. And folks, make no mistake about it. We are in turbulent waters. And that's the point I was making in our interview with Mitch McDonald in Supply Chain Digest. Mitch got me at the CSCMP conference, said, Mike, could you talk to us because we're picking up the same kind of buzz that you're picking up. Shippers are concerned about what's going to happen with their freight cost in 2018. Now, if you're one of those individuals that has some concern about 2018 and what your freight budgets will look like, one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to ask for help. Folks, you cannot afford to be a Lone Ranger in this kind of transportation marketplace. So we've got a lot of wonderful resources available for you at Transat.com, and we've got a lot of other tools that we can share with you that'll help you understand how you can do an exceptional job of managing your transportation cost in 2018. Thanks for your time.